Good day, here are the headlines from the Philippine News Agency. We start the newscast on this Monday with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. reaffirming the Philippines' strong legal footing over the West Philippine Sea issue in the face of China's provocations. This came during his visit to the Western Command in Palawan, where he addressed Filipino troops who were recently harassed by the China Coast Guard. Stephanie Sevillano filed this report.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has reiterated the Philippines' strong legal position regarding the West Philippine Sea amidst continued provocations from China. During his visit to the Western Command in Palawan, the president reassured the government's unwavering resolve in defending the country's territory. He noted that the international community recognizes the Philippines' territorial claims in its exclusive economic zone, where Filipino citizens have the right to exercise their sovereign rights. President Marcos also commended the restraint shown by Filipino soldiers amidst provocations from the China Coast Guard. He praised their dedication and successful completion of missions without escalating the conflict. This came after a recent incident where the China Coast Guard harassed Filipino troops during a resupply mission at Ayungin Shoal. Despite the aggression, Filipino soldiers maintained their composure and completed their mission, a stance that has drawn praise from various groups, including the private and business sectors. Marcos, however, stressed that while Manila does not seek to instigate conflict, it will firmly defend its rights and sovereignty. The maritime row between the Philippines and China has been long-standing, with China asserting its claims over nearly the entire South China Sea, including the WPS. This claim was invalidated by a 2016 arbitral ruling, which upheld the Philippines' rights over key maritime features. For the Pna Headlines, I am Stephanie Sevillano.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. inaugurated a new showcase area for tourists and travelers along Pasig River at Plaza Mexico, Magallanes Drive in Intramuros, Manila on Sunday. The President and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos introduced to the public the Phase 1C of the 25-kilometer Pasig River urban development, which is part of the ongoing Pasig Bigyang Buhay Muli project. Phase 1C features pedestrian-friendly infrastructure, commercial zones, and green spaces. The structures will run with renewable energy and promote ecological practices aligned with the government's environmental protection and conservation strategies. Marcos says the Pasig River reflects the unyielding resolve and bayanihan spirit of Filipinos. He also envisions the revitalization of the Pasig River into one of the world's famous places for rest and recreation that will be the pride of the country. Phase 1C is part of the administration's bid to transform the once neglected Pasig River into a prime hub for recreation and tourism.
Fellow Filipinos, it is a new era of revival and resurgence for our country. This is an exciting time for us all as we bring back the glory of our nation little by little. Let us rally behind this advocacy and contribute in our own way to save the Pasig River, supporting and participating in the efforts of government and its partners to help maintain its cleanliness, and that will go a long way.
In preparation for a possible major earthquake, authorities will test a Harmonized National Contingency Plan, or HNCP, in the event of a magnitude 7.2 quake due to the movement of the West Valley Fault. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, announced today the newly activated HNCP. That would be the highlight of this year's second quarter nationwide simultaneous earthquake drill. The drill is set at 2 p.m. on June 28. This is to address scenarios arising from a magnitude 7.2 earthquake caused by the movement of the West Valley Fault, which could result in significant damage, particularly from an intensity 8 quake affecting Metro Manila and nearby provinces of Central Luzon and Calabarzon. Under this plan, the first wave of assisting regional disaster risk reduction and management councils will come from various regions. Each assisting RDRRMC has a search, rescue, and retrieval team. an incident management team, and an emergency operations center team composed of various government agencies from their respective regions. The drill will be held at the Rescue Emergency Disaster Training Center in Pasig City, where the full-scale exercise will be conducted. During the exercise, search, rescue, and retrieval teams from the uniformed services and the assisting RDRRMCs will be present at the ceremonial venue. The alternate government command and control center will also be activated at Fort Magsaysay, which would serve as the National DRM Operations Center, presuming that the NDRRMOC in Camp Aguinaldo becomes non-operational in the event of the Big One. Meanwhile, Pasig City government personnel will also participate by performing the standard duck, cover, and hold procedures. The Department of Agriculture has announced that it has contained the transmission of query or Q fever in the country, as all afflicted livestock have been depopulated and condemned. DA Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa said the culling of infected goats and cows in quarantine areas in Pampanga and Marinduque was completed on Friday, including those in surveillance areas within the 500-meter radius of the infected site. DDA is coordinating with the Department of Health to monitor the health of residents in the affected area, especially the farm workers. Surveillance and contact tracing efforts in humans and animals are also underway. Q fever is a disease caused by the bacteria Coxiella burneii, which naturally infects goats, sheep, and cows. This can be transmitted to humans through dust contaminated with infected animal excrement, milk, and birth products. Some of its symptoms in humans are fever, chills, fatigue, and muscle pain. Last Friday, the Bureau of Animal Industry reported the first case of Q fever in the country. This was discovered after a batch of 94 goats from the United States were quarantined in Pampanga and Marinduque. The DA has since temporarily banned the importation of goats from the U.S. The Philippine National Police is providing health insurance to its 232,000-strong personnel starting next month. PNP Chief General Romel Francisco Marbil said police officers will receive a health maintenance organization card worth 40,000 pesos. Marbil said the HMO can be used during medical emergencies, particularly in accredited hospitals in the provinces. Aside from health insurance, Marbil reduced the duty hours of police officers in the field from 12 hours to 8 hours. This is to give their personnel enough time to spend with their families after fulfilling their duties. This as the PNP chief ordered to deploy more field personnel and intensify patrols in public areas in line with the campaign against crime and illegal drugs. Marbil also promised to provide legal assistance for officers facing counter charges related to the performance of their duties. Meantime, Marbil urged all police officers to uphold the law and maintain the highest standards of integrity. He particularly warned against involvement with illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs, saying anyone involved in protecting their operations will face appropriate disciplinary actions. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website, pna.gov.ph, or our Facebook and Dex account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website, nib.gov.ph, under PNA News. I am Marita Muahe, and this is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.